Hey folks, it's Van Kraken here. I am a 4-year World of Warships player and a World of Warships Legends alpha tester, and I'm really excited. Tonight is my first stream on YouTube. Been streaming on Twitch for a while, but heard such great things about YouTube I wanted to jump over to this side and check things out, see how things might go. This channel is a meeting place, guys, for you to either just kick back and watch if this is a game that you're interested in. Tonight will be World of Warships Legends, and maybe forget about some of your problems for a while, you know, share some common interests, spark some conversation. Most importantly, let's share some well-deserved fun, especially now that it's the holidays and hopefully we're all on a well-deserved break. In our stream, we like to be casual but competitive. I'm not going to be raging here and ripping people's knowledge of the game. That is not going to happen. We're here to support the growth of this community, have fun, and help players, no matter what age you are, come together and enjoy this game, grow and improve. And hopefully through that growth and improvement in the game, you will have a much better appreciation for it, and you'll have a lot more fun, because it's not very good to suck at anything. Not for me anyway. So come in, you know, as you are. We'll play some games. Hopefully as this channel grows, we're going to be able to give back to our greater community and try to desalinate our little corner of the internet, you know, one match at a time through World of Warships. So a couple quick things I wanted to just talk about tonight before we start. Jump over to where we've lost our browser, so let's go to a different screen here. Let's go to monitor 2. We're just going to look at a couple things, you guys, with regard to HE cruisers. So the title of tonight's stream is talking about burning the Yule log with Atlanta, Boise, and Grasse. And what that gets down to is I want to see before and after effects of how the changes in the Big Mammy update, whichever you want to pronounce it as, has impacted some of my favorite cruisers. And if you guys saw the update in much detail, there's 3 different battleship commander skills that all change to the favor of battleships: Fight Fire with Fire, Emergency Specialist, and Firefighter. Those are 2 existing skills, Fight Fire with Fire being a brand new skill that stops all fire damage if battleships get 3 fires on them and their damage control party is in cooldown. So these skills could have a huge benefit for survival for battleships, which I guess WG decided from their data was an issue, and players were suffering from barbecuing in their battleship. So the other one that I really want to test, besides the longevity of battleship play, is this Equilibrium of Power skill. So it's known as IFHE on PC, and it's Equilibrium of Power on Legends, and essentially it helps you gain additional penetration capability with your HE rounds at the cost of doing a little less damage per round and a cost of a reduced fire chance. So that fire chance was nerfed tremendously in this last update. It's now a 50% reduction in fire chance, but the blessing in disguise might be that you set a few less fires on battleships and you don't trigger that 3rd fire that causes the Fight Fire with Fire skill to kick in. So we're just going to play some matches. I'm tracking my progress in my favorite ships, these cruisers I've talked about, Boise, Atlanta, and Grasse. I'm going to try to compare some data before and after. Do some content on YouTube. I've done some update reviews. There is one that I just posted for this current campaign. I have done a ship review on Grasse, which is one of my favorite ships. And I'll be playing on both sides of the coin, Legends and over on the PC side, as I get my feet wet in streaming on these different platforms. So no pun intended with the feet wet, but there will be pretty much a lot of puns on the stream and some sound effects and other cheesy dad stuff, but you kind of have to understand that comes with the territory, I guess. So one other quick thing, Advent calendar. Hopefully everyone's as up to date as possible on this. We'll have, I think, 6 or 7 days to complete the last 2 tasks as they come out. I think this was a little buggy last night, the Global XP mission. I had a game that I played before I unlocked the calendar, or right after, and it only registered 54 Global XP, so I'm kind of interested to see if that works properly tonight as we play a couple games. It's going to be a short stream, really just testing our stream quality and our setup, but we are going to try to play 1 game each in Grasse, Helena, and Boise tonight. And then again, I'll just be jumping over and taking a couple screenshots of my progress so we can track the results of of how these changes are impacting some of my favorite ships, you know, post this current update. All right, so let's jump over to the game and see what it has in store for us tonight with regard to gameplay, teammates, all that good stuff. We are going to start into Grasse because she is one of my favorite ships, and of these 3 ships, she's the most comfortable to aim with. She has a lot lower gun arcs than the American light cruisers, so when those gun arcs are lower, it's a little truer shell flight to your target. It's not looping as much, and you don't have to be as predictive with leading your target. So I like to start into Grasse almost any night, actually. And again, there's an extensive review that I did on her. Quite extensive. Maybe a little too verbose, but I like to go into a lot of detail. And the second thing I did was play 4 games in her to post in that review, not just one game where I kind of cherry picked the best results, but looked at a block of 4 games. More like an average play night, an average play session to see how she'd work game to game with no editing, just kind of get a sense of how this ship would feel in a non-Unicum game or non-top of the curve game for her. More of an average scenario. All right, we are on Strait, my least favorite map. Drink the rest of my coffee here. I don't like the way this map is situated on Legends with the caps going north and south. I really appreciate them being set up east and west, which is the setup for PC. At least there's no domination caps in this battle, so we don't necessarily have so much take a flank. It's a small map. We can get from side to side pretty quickly in a cruiser. We just don't want to be the first ship spotted right now because we have 5 battleships aside. That would be ugly. You don't want to be focus fired in a light cruiser. So we're going to work from the left side to the right side. And see if we can get some shots on the left flank here, possibly the middle as we pass by. We'll see if we're able to spot up any targets. Our destroyers don't seem to be advancing except on one side of the map. Oops. We had an armor-piercing round set. Part of this experiment is we're going to try to fire as much high-explosive rounds as possible. Kind of want to get a sense of how many fires we set as a percentage of our total hits. Okay, we can spot it up from the Scharnhorst possibly, or no, he's a little out of our main battery range, so maybe there's a destroyer or a cruiser in the middle of the map we haven't spotted yet that spotted us when we fired, and our detection range ballooned out. There's 2 circles on the mini-map. Well, there's 3. There's one very tight around your ship, which is kind of your spotting range that you can spot anything within that circle. Then your next ring out is your base detectability. And the final one that now has that white gun turret on it is the range of your main batteries, and that's where you'll be spotted when you fire your main battery guns. Ouch! We went and showed way too much side to that Scharnhorst, and that was a great shot. Okay, we have to be a little more careful. Might have been the Cali, not sure. Alright, let's back off a little bit. Let's hit our speed boost. Let's let some of our teammates engage. We still have 4 of the enemy team spotting us. And that essentially, guys, is that targeting indicator. That number next to your spotted detector tells you how many enemy ships have you lined up in their main battery gun sight or their torpedo tubes. Obviously someone central is cruising around, probably one of their destroyers doing a job spotting, which he did for their battleship, so you kind of have to give him credit for that. And we showed, again, full broadside to the Scharnhorst or the California, which wasn't a good plan of action. Okay, now we got a King George coming through. Ugh, didn't think he could shoot over that hill very effectively. Okay, now we've lost detection. Me and this fellow cruiser are both a little zoned in on our gun sights. One thing with World of Warships Legends versus PC, it's a lot more difficult to look around and get your bearings. You can zoom out holding your gun lock button. I just find it a bit more cumbersome to check that view. As a consequence, I run into a lot more stuff on Legends than I do on PC. Make it a bit of a habit. Just gonna double check that we're not gonna run into the island in front of us. That is bad. We're already off to giving a big gift of damage right off the top. Man, we've got 20 rounds that have made to their target, but only 1,500 damage. Not great. Okay, looking like there's a DD sitting in this area. So we just got spotted up, or a DD's come central. Kind of tell when we pass behind the island. Most likely a central DD. Given that we're still targeted. Oh, hello, Scharnhorst. Let's put some torpedoes in his path. We have 9-kilometer torpedoes. Hopefully the Scharn will shoot at the nearest cruiser, who's also low health like I am. Here we go. Managed to fire. So we're putting the Scharnhorst behind the island and we are still detected, so that's just telling me we're getting spotted by one of their destroyers that's pushed up, probably central. We are completely turtled on one flank now. I have at least one enemy ship coming from the west flank. Have this Scharnhorst to deal with. Thankfully he's so close behind that island, I don't know if he can shoot over it. So we have the benefit of one battleship hanging in our cap. I did shoot over it, bugger. Angle away. Yikes. Well, tell he's played some games in his Scharnhorst most likely. Some premium ship owners are pretty new. Others, you have to imagine they've played a few hundred games in a ship. Got a little too sideways. This could be bad. Oh, it fired behind us. It's pretty much stopped. We don't have very much teammate help with putting fire on this guy, especially since he's located central like this. Managed to evade that. Guys, hey, you guys over here. So we'll try to loop back in. We're just gonna basically try to see if any of these three teammates here are gonna think about going central, since our cap is now being capped. I'm in pretty much an impossible situation here. These three teammates are in slow ships and haven't realized at all that they got so far to the side that now they can't help defend the cap at all. This battleship is leaving our cap when there's a destroyer sitting in it, so obviously he's not recognizing the situation either. So we're basically pretty screwed in this case, so honestly might as well die. Since we really couldn't get off the pad in that game, we're not going to record that one for our data set. We'd like to get a little more action in than that. We started making a bad decision and then our team is really not recognizing what's going on. So that is almost a sure loss for us. Let's jump back to port. You might have briefly seen their statistics there in the menu that you can pull up on your right central button, which is really cool. All right. We'll wait for that game to end, and while we're waiting for it, we will jump into Boise. So Boise's going to have higher arcing shells, bigger main caliber battery slightly, so shells will do a little more alpha damage, have a little more fire starting potential. What Boise has at tier 6 that Grasse does not at tier 5 is a pretty sweet heal. So we'll be taking advantage of that for certain. You guys are all having a good holiday start. You're getting a break from school if you're a student. If you're going to get a few days off of work, hopefully, at least Christmas and maybe some of the days surrounding before or after it. Gosh, we're only a couple days away. It's hard to believe. We'll be ushering out 2020 and hopefully working our way into a brighter new year. Has to look up in 2021, right? Generally on the maps where it's domination caps like this, we want to pick a flank to support. It'd be best if the team would split between the two flanks, frankly, and then maybe have one spare destroyer spotting up in the middle. This time. Okay, I don't think we got spotted, so we're gonna go ahead and fire on the Knives now since he's already taken his shot. It's a little far away, so it's not going to be the easiest target to hit. We managed it, and we got a fire. See, as a cruiser, we already have 3 ships targeting us. It's life in Cruiserville. So we're going to basically just employ going dark. Going dark means stop shooting when you have multiple ships all targeting you. Make them select a new target, make them reorient their ship, turn their turrets, especially these battleships. The more we can kind of make them reset their priority, the less likely they'll immediately jump back on us as a target. At least that's the hope. Both of these players are staying really far out as well. We would prefer to have the Gneisenau start moving in. Actually, Massachusetts. People are spending their gold to accelerate the mass. It's a good ship. I have her on PC. Also have Alabama there and Alabama on Legend, so definitely plays differently than Alabama, even though they're both South Dakota class battleships. What you see on the Boise for a light cruiser is a long reload, really long reload, especially compared to Helena, which is basically the same class of ship. Probably one of the most readily comparable to her as far as her alpha strike, her fire chance, her hull. Nagato will sting. Okay, they overpenned us mainly. Shells pass through the hull without detonating. Okay, couldn't quite reach Nagato on that last round. So guys, the Massachusetts is a brawler. There's our Gneisenau I was talking about. He's gone in so far alone and showing broadside that he's not going to last very long. The Massachusetts is really meant to kind of be tanky, to bow into enemy ships and get in close enough to use the secondary batteries that she possesses. So she's One of the few and the proud American battleships that actually, whoa, hello, not see that Vanguard. Need to make an abrupt emergency turn here. We're gonna take some hurt here, most likely. We can't evade detection. Oh, he chose not to fire at us, and he's gonna eat some torpedoes. We do have to scoot, though. I'm sure he'll pick us out next. If we can get angled, Boise's actually a little tankier, as is Helena, than people expect. She can bounce some shells or just minimize damage. The Vanguard most likely had to heal a flood. So if we can set them on fire, and they've used their damage control party. Ooh, good shot by teammates. Good focus fire, guys. Let's reward that with a well played. Nice work, guys. But as I was saying, if you stay angled away, which is kiting, typically called, or angled to in Boise, you actually can tank some damage. And again, she has that heal, which is a pretty prominent amount of damage that she can heal back. Okay, Cleveland. That aiming is hard with the Cleveland from long distance. So we're liking that. Oops, we lost our sight of the Wichita, which will throw off our accuracy. These guys in front of me are most likely going to be targeting the Tirpitz, so I'll just watch and see if my spot indicator lights up with a number. Dude, don't go all the way in against 5 ships by yourself, though. Okay, Tirpitz is tanky, but if they all focus fire the Tirpitz right now, it's going to be pretty painful for him. So we're going to try to support the best that we can, but he definitely doesn't want to get so far ahead that he can show full broadside to either of these groups of ships. Wichita can't fire at the Tirpitz, so he's going to take shots at us now. Just a little hard getting the range down over the hills. We're basically just using their ship icon indicator as a guide, but it can be a little bit difficult dialing it in with a high arcing shell. And we don't know the exact positioning of the enemy ship. Okay, so we're going to pull up right here where we can remain undetected, use this island, shoulder this island here to block detection. If half of our ship is hidden, we won't get noticed. And our main battery range isn't all the way out to the far battleships. This is, again, the Tirpitz has gotten himself into trouble. He could have basically decelerated or possibly made a turn out, but Sherman battleships, tanky as they are not impervious to their superstructures getting wrecked, especially when they're getting tag teamed by 3 or 4 ships like that. So, hate to say it, but he chose a little bit poorly on making so strong a move, and our Massachusetts is almost dead. So there's no one really to counter that group on that side. So we're getting our work cut out for us at this point. Hopefully Jean Bart doesn't now go in at the same time or in the same situation by himself. Actually, looks like he may have hit an island. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's just content to bow in there. We're going to use him as a distraction. Yeah, he ran aground. Looked like he stopped pretty abruptly. His team's doing some odd things, but odd team behavior is not odd in World of Warships or World of Tanks. started Warships 4 years ago on PC and then played as an alpha tester on Legends. And I played World of Tanks for, let's see, a good 2 years before that. Looks like our Massachusetts is probably hanging on by a slight thread on the other side. Get some rounds in on the Miyoko. Sitting quite still, which isn't really recommended in a light cruiser or heavy cruiser when you're showing broadside. Like he was. Kite away again. Angle away. Go ahead and put out that fire since they lost visual contact with us.
Problem solved, sir.
Jean-Bart, don't wander into Miyoko torpedoes. Miyoko has 10-kilometer torpedoes, most likely going to be firing them off this edge if they know that Jean-Bart is there. Okay, they're just going to make an end around the island, it looks like. So if I look left, hold down my gun lock button, and start turning to the right, I can actually get my guns turning to the left while I'm looking to the right, as long as I hold that button down. This game is, even though it's tied, it's not looking very positive, given the relative health of our ships and the enemy team. We'll go ahead and heal up a little bit of our damage. Alright, I think it's time we push the Cleveland. His cap has been secured. A little far away, so maybe we can work on the knives now. It looks like they're coming back around the corner now, to Wichita. Keep working on this knives now. Come on, we need to fire. He did land some shells. That would be nice. He's going to turn out. Can't quite get up and down over the island on the Miyoko. We have the mountain symbol showing.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Whittling some of their ships down. Okay. Cleveland is now within reach. He's relatively low health. Again, these hierarching shells have a long flight time, so we're going to have to lead pretty significantly behind the ship, even though he's reversing. Maybe he's not reversing. Thought he was. But he's going to be pinned here soon. He's running out of water between him and the island. Kind of see where he's starting to turn. We can predict a little bit of his path, but it looks like he's going to actually ground. So he's probably locked in on his gun sight like we were at one point. Come on. Seriously? Aim challenge tonight. Finally getting a few. He's gonna go forward again. I don't think he's gonna make that turn this time either, from what we can see. look like it. Just overshooting a little bit. Keep working. That was really poor aiming on my part. Who's an A? Wow, the team is actually held in there. I am very surprised. We don't have a relative health pool that shows that you can actually use as a mod on PC. Oh, good God, we lost 2 ships that quickly. Oh, and we're behind on score. Well, a little more damage than the Grasse game, but not what we're shooting for. And 60 shells have hit with only 1 fire. That's a little bit disappointing. So we know A was just turning to the enemy team, so let's go ahead and jump into A with what time we have left. There's some Yoko. And time expired. Alright. Not such a great start. But again, our battleships played that very interestingly. Our Tirpitz went in very hot. He wound up with a decent score. He did some damage, but basically threw away a ship going in 1v4. Our Massachusetts stood off very far. Ultimately, got a Dreadnought and a Fireproof because he was able to tank a decent amount of damage, but he got nowhere near where he could use his secondaries. And that first Gneisenau that died, that was full broadside in the initial cap we were in to the enemy. He obviously didn't last too long. So hard when you have 3 battleships like that, struggling a bit when you're in a support ship like we are. Okay, let's go back to the Grasse. Go back to what's comfortable, see if we can right this wrong, get this rolling. If you're hanging out in chat at all tonight, let me know if you've been playing World of Warships Legends for a while or not. I'm a little bit tired tonight. Been trying to work on the dynamics of getting the stream repointed over to YouTube from from Twitch. Also been dealing with Twitter and YouTube today from a video perspective. So not in the best shape of mind for good, strong play. I'm tired. It's usually not the best for my aiming. That's usually the thing that goes. My judgment goes a little bit. Definitely being well rested helps a lot in a game like World of Warships where you really need to keep track, especially in a cruiser, oftentimes of 180 degrees around your ship. You are food for battleships. You can be whittled down quickly by cruisers, so it's a high mental activity game, which is why I really, really like it, and it's why I like playing cruisers too, because there's so much to them with regard to playing them well, both offensively and defensively. Alright, we're not going to go too far towards A. We don't want to, again, get spotted up like that and get immediately focused. We'll watch our spotting indicator and see when and if a number appears next to that when we're getting targeted. We're going to try to provide as much support for our destroyer here as we can. Okay, got some shots in on the Krasny Kram. That's good. Oh, jeez. Destroyer. Always target destroyers first if you can. They're the eyes of the enemy fleet, as well as being obviously very dangerous. Strong destroyer player will really tilt the battle in the favor of your team or the enemy team. I'm not super stoked at how brave our Farragut is being, but it could work out. The enemy is in smoke. If he stays in smoke, he won't get detected, but he's got torpedo issues to deal with now. Okay, successfully turned. Let's get our catapult fighter up. And let's put some torpedoes out on this New Mexico. Just in case. He maintains his current course. We could catch him sleeping. These torpedoes are going to take a while to reach. And a lot of times, battleship players are not expecting distant cruisers to be putting torpedoes in their path. He is executing a turn, so let's not hit the island. What we can do... Oh, we got the Jaguars. Let's get our guns turning anyway. Come on, guns. When you see sputtering like that out of the stacks, it means his engine is damaged. Not going to be going anywhere fast, or at all, depending on how much momentum he had when he suffered the engine damage. Okay, good. We got him. Took him out. Oh, that New Mexico got wasted by teammate torpedoes. So in this fire experiment, I'm really just using HE. I would normally be switching over to armor-piercing rounds on this Omaha. But again, I'm just trying to measure the relative effectiveness of HE rounds with the post-patch conditions. And again, just tired brain, firing a little bit behind. Looks like that Dallas has been firing on us. So let's angle in on him.
Our team is taking the lead.
Whoa, forget it. We are going to go to... we are going to go and use our armor piercing so we can survive this encounter, hopefully. Krasny Krem is basically a similar class to Omaha, so they don't like armor piercing rounds very much.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Especially when you can get him into the Citadel like that. Dallas is just really not maneuvering a whole lot. Oh, dang. Keep switching from armor piercing to HE. I traded off there because I wanted to try to get the Dallas broadside with AP, which we can get Citadels from that range, but at the same time then I saw the destroyer pop back up, and you want to use HE on destroyers. Armor-piercing rounds will pass right through destroyers, they won't detonate, and you'll get a minimum amount of damage, and you won't get as much module damage either. It's a lot less likely to knock out engines and steering gears and stuff like that with armor-piercing typically than it is with HE. Okay. Let's execute a turn. Dallas may not be expecting torpedoes. He doesn't have any, so we don't have to worry about that. We are going to switch our rounds now to armor piercing. Broken the rules of our experiment. Looks like he sped up a little bit, so he's going to be able to evade that spread of torpedoes. Come on, we're looking for Citadel hits. We're going to stay angled. There we go.
Deactivated. The ship is on fire.
Looks like he took some torpedo damage. Dang, Island is back. Oh, we got him just in time.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Got him just in time before he could retaliate. Our team's doing much better overall in this match. Again, we're not executing the way we should be, but we're getting away with it. You can afford to be a little sloppier than normal when your team is picking up your slack. Alright, we'll go ahead and switch back to HE. Hopefully, we'll be able to at least make some progress on our advent calendar tonight. Yep. Oh. Whoops. Signal to my battleship. Not needing a smoke screen. Yeah, battleship set me a smoke screen. Get me wrong. I like the communication wheel because it cuts down a lot on the saltiness. I basically turn off my voice chat. I use party chat for when I'm in a division. But having drunk people blather advice into voice chat isn't necessarily all that fun. So I do like the command wheel that you have a decent number of commands you can use, all the vital ones, and you don't need to get into heated conversations about people's mothers. Which I always avoid, but sometimes other people don't want to avoid it. Okay. Let's use our speed boost. Oh, there he is. Speed boost will give us a little more evasion capability, and we're going to hit our hydroacoustic, or sonar 1. Steer right. Oh, he got wasted. Okay, good shot, guys. So we're going to steer right at him when he turned, so that we'd be angling straight into his torpedoes. I think, unfortunately for him, he was unable to get those off. We're aiming at our predecessor, La Galissoniere, the predecessor of the de Grasse. Outwardly looks similar, but de Grasse has more consumables. It has more torpedoes, one more on each side. Generally, slightly better gun handling. And having that catapult fighter on this ship but not on the Galissoniere is a big difference with being able to spot for yourself as a cruiser. Ship's map hug, they can be a little harder to hit. We're just gonna bow in. Bowing in should minimize damage we take. We really don't want fires, but we'll have to watch out for torpedoes here.
Problem solved, sir. Ship is on fire.
Stay angled straight at him to make it easier to dodge. And that's it. Not a bad game there in Grasse this time. But not nearly as good as we normally do. So I'm going to record this game really quick. Save my results. We were able to fire on a couple battleships, at least one battleship in that round. So that's one thing we're looking at. Just see how much battleships are able to tank fire damage. With, again, this change in the meta, where they have more skills to manage fire. This particular ship does not have equilibrium of power, so it doesn't have that increased HE penetration with its current setup. So we're not testing that with de Grasse, but we are testing the amount of fire damage we can put out against enemy battleships, essentially. Alright, we got this backwards again. Just really quick, loop this. Save that. right. Away we go. I think we're going to play probably one more game, maybe two, most likely one. And we'll call it good for the night with this test stream. Thank you so much if you've stopped in. Really, really appreciate it. Again, it's our first night streaming on YouTube. Lots of sources that I follow in the streaming world are saying that they think YouTube may be the future of streaming, even though Twitch has had the leadership position in the early days, so, well, the early years. We shall see. It's definitely nice to have your video content stored forever and your live streams in one place. I'll say that for sure. Let's go Boise again. That was a... last match where we really just weren't able to pick up the pace. Ugh, this map again. No! My least favorite map in World of Warships. Legends. I like it in PC. And it's just crazy how changing the spawns from east-west to north-south just changed the character of the map tremendously. And it's set up in domination mode, which makes it even worse. You're goaded into getting into these little narrow channels. Especially as a battleship, it's just not fun. But we'll do our duty. We have hierarching shells. We can play off terrain in a US cruiser, so we'll cozy up close to these islands, hoping that our destroyer will get into spot for us. There's only 2 destroyers, so it's not like we're going to likely get any more than 1 destroyer rushing this lane. So this could be relatively ideal. Our first job is going to be to help this destroyer win any kind of knife fight that it gets into with one of the enemy destroyers. Be a Fabuki that's down tiered and a Bliskavitska. The Blyspie is showing up in crates. Seen multiple Blyes in the last 2 nights since the patch dropped. Alright, there's definitely a destroyer heading in because we're detected. Turn to evade as much of the Normandy's fire as we can. Okay, and there's good old Dallas again. Okay, we see a DD, that's going to be our target we're going to switch off on. Ugh. Yeah, dude, just don't be a hero. We need you to spot. If you're a destroyer, you don't want to die in the very opening stages of the game. Even if you get a kill, it's not worth dying in the first minute or 2. You got spotted, so the likelihood of those torpedoes striking a target are going to be a lot less than if he wasn't spotted. You lose your stealth, the enemy's generally going to find a way to evade. We know there's enemy torpedoes coming the opposite direction for sure.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Damn plane.
Concentrate fire on the target.
I'm trying to blind fire. Okay, my battleship is bailing, my destroyer is bailing. Where's the battleship? Okay, I guess he's not completely bailed out. What we don't have in the ship is a spotter. Spotter plane, which we have in Helena. Similar class of ship, same class of ship. We trade the spotter for the heel, essentially. Looks like we were able to take out one of their destroyers, but now we've got another enemy battleship joining at this cap. Have not been playing the Boise or Helena as much lately, so these high arcing guns, they just do take getting dialed in. And I'm not doing it with my brain tonight. Third time's a charm. Ugh. Okay. The DD is spotting us, most likely here. We're losing our support. I'm gonna try to stay in the cap because we're actually winning it. If we can just hold out for 9 seconds. Ah, we got reset. We're gonna have to stop firing. Dang it. Seriously, 2 directions? It's gonna go dark until we capture the cap. See if we can avoid getting spotted. Our range won't jump out. Hey, what's up, hype? Dude, I'm trying out Facebook. Or not Facebook, trying out YouTube streaming and Facebook streaming eventually. So just giving it a shot. What are you up to? Did I pop up? Oh, I popped up and on an indication maybe because you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. That is pretty funny, man. So you've been the first person on both streams. I'm just kind of testing out settings tonight. I'm way too tired to play well, but I hate this dang map. Trying to hold this cap. Good. Yeah, I'm so tired from yesterday. Probably gonna knock off after this game, but I'm gonna try to get a good night's sleep and be up a little later tomorrow night. So if you are able to play tomorrow morning, your time, we should try to do that. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We are, oh, that Colorado is low health. See if we can set him on fire. Oh, we lost sight of him right when we needed to. Those last shots in on him. There's a ship turning the cap. Wait, there he is. Oh, there's 2 battleships coming. And they have a plane. They can see us. I'd love to set a fire on that Colorado. What the heck? I cannot aim this ship tonight. For the life of me. There we go. That's what we needed. Don't slow down. Got another battleship coming. Normandy doesn't have the greatest main caliber guns, so if we stay relatively angled to the Normandy, we hopefully won't take a ton of damage per shell. Oh, cruiser, you don't want to do that. Grasse Bay is going to try to torpedo the Normandy, I would guess. So, Hype, do you check out YouTube very much for streaming, or do you do mostly Twitch? You're going to have Atlanta soon? Awesome. You're going to buy it with free XP? With global XP? It's an awesome ship. Earns a lot of credits and a lot of experience. It's really good for the campaigns. That's cool. I've still my most played ship. I've played more games in Atlanta than anything else. Oh my goodness. Must admit, we're missing a lot of shots by a little tiny amount. Zara's gonna try to duck behind the mountain. Get one last shot in on him, hopefully. Looks like the Grasse was able to take care of maybe the Normandy with torpedoes and then take out the US battleship, the Colorado, with guns because it was so low health. I think Atlanta does the most XP of probably any tier 6 premium based on my experience. There's one other one people say is pretty good, but Nelson I think is pretty good. But you know, I have multiple other tier 6 premiums and I really honestly like Atlanta the best for the missions. But she's also the trickiest guns, right? They shoot really high. But you've played a lot of Helena, so you should have a head start. You can do well in Atlanta too, because you've played a lot of Helena. Helena teaches you really well for her. Trying to shoot all high explosive. I'm trying to see if the equilibrium of power skill on Norman Scott got nerfed really badly. Sorry, you're gonna hit the islands, but don't shoot AP at me. I would normally be shooting armor piercing right now. It's gonna be close. Get turned away and tank. There we go. If we stay angled on the Zara, I don't think they can do a lot of damage to us. They're gonna start coming forward. What? Oh my, we're getting so screwed on caps. Really? I wasn't paying close enough attention to that, I guess. Not that it would have mattered. Well, definitely a better damage game. But unfortunately, it's not looking good points-wise, is it? And I just gave him the game. Ah! Well, you did play a decent amount of Helena. And honestly, Dallas helps too, because Dallas shoots high, has a high rainbow shot. So Dallas is good training for Atlanta, just like Helena is. So they're all pretty similar, but second game in Boise, I did a lot better there. I'm actually going to save the results in this just to look at the fire damage. So you do know the skill that I'm talking about with Norman Scott, the equilibrium of power one that makes sure HE shells, the high explosive shells, have more penetration. That skill got nerfed pretty badly. The effectiveness of it got reduced, so trying to do some before and after games to see how much it changed. It's like fire should be quite a bit harder to set because now it's like a 50% reduction in your fire chance if you're running that skill. Before I think it was like 16%. So I'm hoping it didn't mess these ships up too much because they're like my favorite ships. Alright, so we got another game done in Grasse. We got another game done in Boise. Save those results. So what are you doing today? Are you doing anything exciting? It's just the start of your day, right? No school, you said? You get to do anything fun? Or you guys are probably still kind of locked down, right? 100,000 damage with Helena is pretty dang good. That's probably about where I've gotten with her in a really good game. Yeah, I did get a Yamato unlocked finally. And I played 4 games in her. The first 3 games were kind of hard getting used to the guns. And then the 4th game I got 236,000. So that's been my new high damage game is Yamato game. You're just home chilling. Well, that's probably what you should be doing given what's going on. Yeah, you can play more, right? Not get in trouble for being on the Xbox. So are you going to play tomorrow morning? I'll probably be streaming on Twitch tomorrow. Again, this is just kind of an experiment, but looks like you can see the stream okay, hopefully. It's just a little different setting it up. So, and getting everything working properly. But, all right, my friend, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, I stayed up pretty late the last couple nights, so I am super tired. Or else I would stay up tonight and play with you, but I wouldn't be any good. So I'd be a hindrance to your results. Okay, well, if you're on, pop in and see if I'll make a space in the division for you if I can. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for stopping in. Really funny and awesome to see you. Unexpected in a good way. Very cool. So, you have a good day tomorrow, okay? Or a good day today. I'll be back up in probably about 6 hours. I have to do some work tomorrow, but not the whole day. So, anyway, thanks a lot if you stopped by the stream. Thank you for this first time ever YouTube stream. I have to remember which platform I'm on now, not mess it up. So anyway, thank you very much if you dropped in. Thank you, Hype, for dropping in and saying hello. My first friend on Twitch, now my first friend on YouTube. Everybody have a great night. Hope you're staying safe like Hype is doing, just chilling at home, being with family, and hopefully having some good food over the next few days and getting some fun gifts to play with. So I am Van Kraken. I am out. I will be on Twitch tomorrow and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Good night.